Some guys spend years trying to get a bad nickname to stick, but the right nickname seems to merge with the essence of an athlete. Magic Johnson, Babe Ruth, Bear Bryant, Satchel Paige, Pistol Pete, King James, Dr. J, The Fridge. Some nicknames take the place of a player's real name entirely. For a large part of my life, I thought this dude's name was Tiger. But Deion Sanders' primetime nickname works a little different, and as a kid I perceived it more like an alter ego. If that was ever even true, the two have now meshed seamlessly into a wiser, more seasoned and polished version of primetime. Coach Prime. Of all the nicknames, Prime's a hell of a word to be associated with. It literally means of best possible quality, excellent. And Coach Prime from 1985 to 1999 displayed one of the greatest athletic primes we've seen. In 2012 he started coaching, and he had success from the start, but just now seems to be entering into his coaching. I think you get it. The name Prime has actually followed Deion since the mid-80s, since around 1984, nearly 40 years ago. We all know him for playing professional football and professional baseball, but he got the name based off what he could do on the basketball court. Here's the quote of Deion explaining both when and how he first got the primetime nickname during a Jimmy Fallon interview. Quote, "I'd already earned primetime in high school. I dropped like 37 that night, had 2 dunks back to back, and my curl was dripping wet, even though it looked dry. We were on our way home on the bus, and my homie says, 'You know what, man? You primetime.' I said, 'You're right.' So it was birthed then. I'm from the inner city. You can't just give us a nickname. You gotta earn that thing, and I earned it. Primetime." The nickname has stuck around for every iteration of Deion Sanders, and now the name has branched off to describe his impact as a college coach, the Prime Effect. According to the CEO of Boulder Chamber, an organization whose focus is local businesses and the local economy there in Boulder, Colorado, conservative estimates say that there will be a $17 million economic impact on the Boulder area every time a Colorado home game sells out. There's 6 total home games, and if we judging off of this, I think it's safe to assume all them games gonna sell out. Meaning, according to these estimates, the value of the Prime Effect in year 1 as it relates to the local economy is off the charts impactful, over $100 million. Bro, when LeBron left Cleveland and their economy suffered the next year, the amount was $120 million, which means the Prime Effect, which is not quite the LeBron effect, is up there somewhere in the same stratosphere. Not to mention, Bron left after building up the economy for like 7 years. Prime's just been there for some months, but the Prime Effect is impacting Boulder, Colorado in a major way. There's a bunch of cool stories about local bars and restaurants and on-campus bookstore all seeing massive increases in business.
So right here we have our Iron Hard to Find crew neck sweatshirts and our hoodies. We've got some really fun cowboy hats, so make sure you come in and get one for this weekend so you can be just like Coach.
Buffs fans are like, "Take all my money." And the businesses are like, "Yes, please."
We have a great little Coors Light station over here. Never have I ever seen so much Coors Light than what we got for this game.
Lucy Coe is a manager at Avanti off Pearl Street. Starting point on Friday nights for the Pearl Street Stampedes on home game weekends.
It's gonna be chaos, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be good money, and everybody's really excited to watch what Prime does with this team.
Extra staff called in from their Denver location, extra booze, and extra hours they hope will translate to extra business.
I just recently graduated, so I have seen it, and I have never seen people who hours after a game are coming in and still chanting our songs, still chanting the fight songs. It's game-changing for us.
When it comes to ticket price increases, man, this dude named Kyle Zorn laid it out, I'd say the best way I came across. He said the cost to attend every Colorado home game last year would have ran you $222. Then he said the cost to attend the Colorado versus Nebraska game this past Saturday was $476. If that price is relatively consistent for the other 5 home games, if you're not a student, you're paying $2,800 to hit them games. And with every passing day, it seems those prices are going up. It's a good thing the local economy is doing well, bro, cause damn. On the field, the Prime Effect has turned a 1-11 team into a team that's ranked in the top 20 in the nation. They've already won as underdogs and then saw the line flip for their second game, and so they went in as favorites. Versus Nebraska, bro, they had a tough start versus a physical team, but showed some grit, bit down, and won the game big. The same amount of people watched Colorado versus Nebraska as number 3 Bama versus number 11 Texas. The Texas-Alabama game was good, but could have been better better as Bama's quarterback kinda sucked the life out of the game. But side note, if you watch Quentin Ewers last year, he looks so much better now, and it's dope to see him putting it together. But Bama falls as there's more parity in college ball than ever, and new powers are being born every day now in the sport. But while things are looking up from a fan interest standpoint, the NCAA is still its own worst enemy. They recently got blasted by UNC coach Mac Brown over the denial of Tez Walker's waiver claim. According to this Sports Illustrated article, North Carolina receiver Tez Walker's case is a tough one. Personally, after reading it, I respectfully disagree. I don't think it's that hard of a case once you look at all the factors. It just requires a sound decision taking all things into account, but that's something that seemed impossible for the NCAA. Tez Walker played high school about 2 hours from UNC, but out of high school he committed to East Tennessee, which is an FCS school, but he never enrolled. He deferred his enrollment after tearing his ACL, so he was never actually a part of East Tennessee. When he recovered, he made the move to North Carolina Central, which is an HBCU located in North Carolina. Only issue with that was that he enrolled in 2020, and they canceled the entire football season due to COVID. So then he goes to Kent State, where he finally plays 2 seasons, the second of which he just ends up going off. So after deferred enrollment in the COVID year, Kent State was technically the first chance he got to actually play football. So the whole backstory is a little muddy and it's slightly complicated, but to make decisions like this is the only reason the NCAA exists. Issue is they've overcomplicated simple situations in the past, like just to flex their power or I guess just feel important. But when relied on to make a hard decision, they always punt. They put the COVID restriction decision making on each individual school, and with NIL they did nothing but hope the courts would bail them out. They've shown no level of consistency, no ability to lead, so now every decision they make always gets second guessed. All because they've earned zero credibility.
With what they're doing in North Carolina, these fans are chanting it, free Tez Walker for a reason. This is the dumbest thing that the NCAA has maybe ever done. I'm not saying it's the worst thing they've ever done, but maybe it's the dumbest thing. We have players that are playing in college football for as long as it would take to become a doctor. 8-year seniors taking place with red shirt, blue shirt, gray shirt, COVID year, transfer year, bounce year. There's people moving from school to school. The rules clearly state, it's like the rules don't matter. The rules have been changing for literally the last 4 years, end over end. No sense that you're not letting this dude play, and it does feel like you're personally attacking him. And it's stupid.
There's a lot of factors in the Tez Walker situation that we could focus on. Mental health reasons that he cited, the sick family member he wanted to get closer to, because again, UNC is just 2 hours from where he grew up, while Kent State, where he was at, is like 500 miles away. Guys have been granted transfer requests for any one of these reasons, but I'd like to focus on 2 other things that should have pushed this through. One, he fell victim to the COVID year for his first actual transfer. So in my opinion, there's no way that should be held against him at all. And then 2, he was informed of this recent rule change that's now restricting his immediate eligibility after he transferred. I'll say it again. He wasn't informed of the actual rule change until after he transferred. And I'm saying he wasn't notified, but according to the timelines I'm finding, it wasn't just slow communication. The rule actually didn't change until January 11th, and he transferred on the 9th. So he's thinking he's good, and then in August they pop up and say he's ineligible. Must have been a mistake. We'll just do a simple appeal. Then the NCAA comes back and says, nope, still ineligible.
The NCAA's decision in the Tez Walker case is senseless, it's wrong, and frankly shameful. After transferring, he was notified by the NCAA that they'd changed their transfer policy. Both North Carolina Central and Kent State supported his transfer waiver, and yet the NCAA has still denied it. It is wrong. And when the NCAA says student-athlete welfare, that's pretty far down the list behind money and behind what they think is their reputation. And it's not a question of trying to establish credibility because the NCAA has none in this area.
There's another case in Colorado that may actually be worse. I came across this clip a couple of weeks ago actually, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to talk about it in a standalone video, but after the Tez Watkins story, I immediately thought about this. I saw a vid of Joel Klatt, who was featured in the last Colorado video, breaking down the situation of a kid named Tyler Brown. And whether you do or you don't think the Tez Walker situation is bad, If You Human, his next story's gotta make you feel something.
Tyler Brown is at Colorado. Tyler Brown was denied immediate eligibility after his second transfer. He started his career at Louisiana Lafayette, transferred to Jackson State, and now has tried to follow Deion to Colorado. Now, if that's all you knew, then it's like, that's not allowed because he's not a graduate, so he's not a graduate transfer, and you're only allowed one transfer. Hold on, because wait, Joel, you're going to tell me there's more to the story? Yeah, there's a lot more to the story. Hardship waiver claims go through all the time. It doesn't matter actually what the hardship is. It matters how much money you have and which lawyer you can hire to go argue it in front of the NCAA. They're terrible at this. Tyler Brown was denied his immediate eligibility for his second transfer despite citing mental health reasons for his transfer. Now, you could say, Joel, everyone uses mental health. Anyone could use mental health. Okay. Tyler began his career at Louisiana Lafayette. They had a coach named DJ Looney who Tyler was very close to. In fact, as Tyler put it, had become very much a father figure to him when he didn't have many father figures in his life prior. DJ Looney died in front of Tyler on the field, tragically of a heart attack. Tyler could barely go on, didn't know how to function. Can you imagine the heartache? And the pain? Would you want to go to class? Would you want to play football? Couldn't be there anymore. It reminded him too much of that tragedy, so he transfers to Jackson State. Luckily for him, he found a coaching staff led by Coach Prime that welcomed him with open arms at Jackson State. Father figure type of environment. And an environment in which they did not look down on him for opening up about the struggles he faced after he watched DJ Looney die in front of him of a heart attack. Then he suffers an injury at Jackson State. When he was away from football, his mental health struggles increase because now he no longer has that outlet to work through some of these issues. He gets healthy, he gets back. His coach, Coach Prime, gets an opportunity to go to Colorado. He tries to follow him to Colorado, and the NCAA denies his waiver. Who denied that? What suit stuffed in cubicle 87B denied that waiver? Because that's what this reeks of, a robotic bureaucracy that doesn't care about the humans in the situation, that can't look at a situation in totality and can only look at a situation through black and white colored glasses and the letter of the law. In the NCAA, they claim to care about mental health of the athletes, but they sure aren't showing that in this case. How does this get denied? Hey, NCAA, do something about this. I can't get over it. This reeks of mall cop. They're desperate just to catch people. It doesn't matter about the situation. It doesn't matter that it was COVID and no one knew what was going on. It doesn't matter that Tyler Brown saw his father figure die in front of him and he's trying to follow his new father figure to a new place where they've got more resources for mental health. No. Because hey, mouth breather in cubicle 87B, black and white. We got them. This is another domino. And guess what? Guess what happens? And this is what people fail to realize is that the NCAA is kind of a governance model. It's not a governance model that is just there for sure. This is a membership model. These teams and schools and conferences have to opt in to the membership of the NCAA. When you're this petty, when you're this non-empathetic, when you're this bureaucratic, in particular in a robotic sense, when you're this inept, when you're this insecure, when you're this much of a mall cop, people will stop being members, hopefully.
Now, recently, the NCAA has responded to the criticism, saying that members of their committee have received death threats. And listen, bro, that sucks. It's never cool, you know what I'm saying? But the people I blame for that primarily is the NCAA itself. I once worked at a company who had crazy rules up top, rules that would mess over the customer and tie the hands of the manager. Depending on what crazy rule they passed that month, there was times when we had little to no power to actually help a customer. But when the customer comes in and they understandably pissed off, who you think caught the heat? The people at the store. And you do everything within your power, but you just don't have much. While the company sits back and uses you as a human shield. Then they come out and say, oh man, they treating our employees bad. But they treating us bad because you sitting behind us and treating them bad. So the cause of the problem is not the angry customer. It's a symptom of the bigger issue, which in this case is the NCAA. So while college football is more entertaining than ever and gaining an influx of new fans who's coming in with new excitement, the organization who pretended they held college sports up have recently been exposed over and over for doing the exact opposite. The Prime Effect, who some said
will do more damage than good,
has so far had a very positive impact on the sport, but at the end of the day, it still might not be enough to save the NCAA from itself.
I'ma go get